This is Bumper to Bumper, the car show. Drive in anxious and cruise out confident. With the best automotive information for your vehicle. And now your hosts, Matt Allen and Dave Riccio.
Well, good morning, boys and girls, and welcome to Bumper Radio. I am Dave Riccio, and today Matt has decided to step out, so I am your KTAR car guy. We are heard here every Saturday from 11 to noon, and on Bumper to Bumper Radio, our job is to help you know more about your car. So if you got car questions, we've got car answers, so give us a call at 602-277-5827. 602-277-KTAR. And if you're the shy type, you can text us at 411-923. And today on the Bumper to Bumper Roadmap, we've got a car tip of the week, open phones, of course, and text, and hybrids, and more hybrids. We have Glenn Hayward from Good Works Auto Repair in Tempe, and he is the hybrid wizard. I mean, he came in today with his staff. I'm like, you're taking the wizard thing a little too far. Good to have you, Glenn. Go ahead and...
somebody's got to be the wizard around here, so thanks for the plug.
You bet. Well, GoodWorks is a member of the Bumper to Bumper Radio family, and they were really one that was quick to take interest in hybrid technology. And, Glenn, for most people, maybe they don't even know what the heck a hybrid is. I mean, we see them, we know they're kind of green, or they're kind of good for the environment, they're kind of got batteries and electric motors, but what the heck is a hybrid?
Well, hybrid is a vehicle that actually uses two types of energy to propel it down the road. The first hybrid was instituted back in 1874, believe it or not, the first diesel-electric train. Many of our listeners may not be aware of this, but trains actually are not only the original hybrid, but every train that's out there on the tracks today, with the exception of the new shuttle trains that are fully electric that go to and from downtown and all over the valley. But the over-the-road trains that we see have diesel motors that belch that beautiful black smoke out the top. Those are actually the generating motors, and what's on the wheels driving them are electric motors, and that's what qualifies them as hybrids.
So when I see a Toyota Prius, it's got a gas engine, and that generates electricity, as well as sometimes it propels a car.
That is correct. The transmission has two electric motors, one in the front and one in the rear. The front motor is actually used as a generating motor, which also has propulsion qualities to it. The rear motor in it is the principal propulsion motor, which propels the vehicle down the road. And the gasoline motor is principally there to use as the generating motor to run the generator to keep the batteries charged up.
Now, when I think of hybrid, I think of Toyota and the Prius, because they were maybe the first ones on the scene to really mass produce it, but everybody makes a hybrid now.
Yeah, just about every manufacturer has a hybrid. Subaru's got them, and Nissan's got them. Some vehicles have gone to a different type of technology as far as batteries. We may discuss that later in the program, but far and away, I think Toyota has got the most cars on the road that are, actual hybrid vehicles, including the Camry, the Prius, the Highlander, and then they've got others in the Lexus brand as well.
And you've got Ford. They got the C-Max. Is that what it's called?
Correct.
And then now you said how many registered hybrids are there in the valley or in the state?
Over 65,000 in Maricopa County alone.
And how long have you guys really been focusing on hybrids, and how many was there back then?
Well, we were the first independent shop to start working on hybrids. We did that a little over 2 years ago. We became a hybrid franchisee, the hybrid shop, out of Virginia, and they've got franchises scattered all over the country and even in Puerto Rico and Hawaii. So it's pretty exciting to see the growth in the industry, and not only from the purchasing side but also from the repair side.
I remember as a kid in high school, we were just starting to talk about them, and it was like something off in the future. Hybrids are going to come around someday. And I mean, things are changing. And so I think as consumers, we got to be aware of everything. Am I a hybrid customer? I'm going to go buy a new car. Should I be thinking about a hybrid? What are the questions people should be asking themselves if they're thinking about a hybrid?
Well, one of the first questions that people often ask us when they call, and we do get a lot of inquiries during the course of a week, they ask, should I buy a new one? Should I buy a used one? What brand should I buy? What's out there? What should I look out for? There's a lot of questions in people's minds because this, to them, is a completely new beast.
it's like black magic. I mean, there's a lot of auto shops that won't even touch hybrids because they don't really know about it. I mean, some shops are still working on the regular gas engine. They don't know about that either. But now you got a hybrid, and it's totally different. So they're not even touching them. And I think that's probably a fair majority of our marketplace. And there's shops like yours where a majority of what you work on is actually hybrids. I mean, you guys work on everything, but you've taken interest in hybrids.
Right. Well, we got pretty excited a couple of years ago when we went to a super conference with ATI, and the founder of the hybrid shop, Matt Curry, was there as one of the keynote speakers, and he was talking about hybrids being the wave of the future, and that is something to jump on board and start doing now before you get crushed under the waves.
Right. And I'm looking, we've already got a couple phone calls, and you can get a hold of us at 602-277-5827. If there's anything about your car you want to talk about, we'll talk about anything with you, but also today, a particular interest in hybrids, bring that. And I've got a call here. It looks like they're buying a used, and it's cut off there, but it looks like Prius. So I'm in the market. I'm going to buy a used Prius. What do I need to know? I mean, it's different.
Right. Well, Prius has actually gotten three different generations of the Prius. The Generation 1 was 2002, 2003. By 2004, they went to the Generation 2, which is a different battery pack using the same motor but a different style of battery, a little bit different voltage. And actually, they made the whole car a little bit more efficient overall. But there's still a lot of those older ones that are still on the road. However, they then, from 2010 and up, they went with the Generation 3, which was designed with a larger gasoline motor as well as larger electric motors in the transmission, which propel the car. And the original design was to allow those batteries, or cause those batteries to last about twice as long as the Generation 1 and 2s. And so far, that's been a big challenge for them.
Jury's still out on that if they're going to hold up as well as the Generation 2
Right.
batteries. So that's a question. So I'm looking at a hybrid, and everyone's heard about, battery issues. Oh, they're great cars until you need to buy a battery. Ooh, the battery. And so if I'm looking at a used one, let's say it's a Generation 2 Prius, which is in that age range that you said, and it's got 140,000 miles, and the car seems good, but I've got that question mark, and it is black magic to most people. This hybrid thing, should I be figuring the cost of a battery in there? And is that something I got to be looking for?
If you're a prospective buyer in the hybrid market, it would be wise to either call a dealership and get the VIN of that vehicle and find out whether that battery pack has ever been replaced. If it has not been, I would say it maybe 135,000, 145,000 miles on a Prius. That's Generation 2. I would be suspect that the battery is probably not going to last too much longer, and you're looking at an investment of $2,000 to $4,000 depending on which road you go down to replace that battery or have it reconditioned.
So you guys at Good Works Auto Repair in Tempe actually recondition those batteries, or you regenerate them, I guess is a better word for it. So if the batteries deteriorate over the years and the car's not performing like it used to. I mean, it wasn't a race car to start with, but it's going a little slower. You guys can actually go in and fix that.
Yeah, it's surprising. People are surprised at how much pep the hybrid cars actually do have, because when you're coming off the line using both the electric motors and the gasoline motor, and you can actually cut the tires loose on them. But, of course, no one drives like that. Not in our valley. But
no,
anyway.
Absolutely not. I'm taking my Prius to the track this weekend.
But, people often think, well, these aren't performance vehicles. They don't have a lot of power. But that's really not true. And that's why I think that the Generation 3 Priuses, that they went with a little bit larger gasoline motor, because perhaps some of the customers are saying these are a little bit lackluster as far as power goes. But getting back to the subject of battery reconditioning, because the batteries are made of nickel metal hydride, it's a very resilient metal which can be regenerated even more than one time. What happens is, for instance, in the Toyotas, you have a cassette-style battery. It looks like a Betamax video cassette, and there's 28 of them stacked side by side and compressed together with big metal rods to keep them from literally blowing up, because as they discharge and charge, they get hot and they swell. And so what happens is, inside of each one of those, there's 6 pockets, and each pocket has about 15 nickel metal hydride plates inside of it. And they excite that metal with a little bit of electrolyte, much like a lead acid battery, and then that gets the thing starting to produce electricity. And then all those batteries are tied together with bus bars, and they produce the high voltage that the electric motors need to run them down the road. So over a period of time, crystals form between those plates, and our process dissolves those crystals so that they're making good contact with each other, because less contact means high resistance. High resistance produces heat, and it ultimately destroys the batteries.
Man, it all sounds like polonium carbide to me, but I know you guys know what you're doing down there. So, hey, today we're taking calls at 602-277-5827. If you got questions about a hybrid, or it doesn't have to be about a hybrid, give us a call. You know, Glenn is a technician of all sorts. 480-9685. That's my phone number to my shop. 602-277-5827. I just say that phone number all the time. But anyway, we'll be right back with open lines, and send us text. You're listening to Dave on Bumper to Bumper Radio. Matt and I share car repair tips weekly to help you keep your car safely on the road, and a few of them are easy to do.
Yep, you're right, Dave. And one of the easiest is to have a dependable battery that you can trust to get you started no matter what the conditions.
Interstate batteries are what we trust at Bumper to Bumper Radio. In fact, they're what we use at our own shops for our customers.
If you're like most people, your car is one of your most valuable investments. Make sure you take care of that investment with the power necessary to get you where you need to be. Interstate Batteries are America's #1 replacement brand with the factory fresh guarantee, and they're easy to find at good shops everywhere.
Cars or trucks, Interstate has you covered with long life and performance in our harsh desert climates with products like Megatron Plus that carries a 30-month free replacement and a 6-year performance guarantee.
Interstate Batteries. No battery lasts longer. Check them out at interstatebatteries.com.
Hi, I'm Scott, General Manager with Whitey's Auto Repair here in South Scottsdale. We built a reputation for quality auto service and repair for over 45 years, and our customers have come to trust us for our recommendations. We value that trust, and that's why when it comes to transmissions, for the past several decades, we have been recommending Tri-City Transmission. They have yet to disappoint. I feel so strongly about it, I wouldn't go anywhere else. Why would you? Google them online today at tricitytransmission.com. Go where the pros go. Tri-City Transmission.
There's nothing more important than family. Hi, Kurt Rock for Kurt's Auto Repair. Family owned and operated and Bumper to Bumper Radio preferred. We've been taking care of Valley families and their auto care needs with a perfect Better Business record for over 27 years. Come experience the difference our ASE Master Techs can make for you and your family at Kurt's Auto Repair. Just east of I-17 at 22nd Avenue and Bell Road, or online at mycarhurts.com. Gas or diesel, foreign or domestic. If your car hurts, take it to Kurt's.
Few cities are as car-centric as Phoenix, and this is the show that'll help you to better understand that machine you depend on to get around the valley. It's Bumper to Bumper Radio. KTAR News on 92.3 FM and the KTAR app for Android and iPhone.
Well, welcome back to Bumper Radio. I am Dave Riccio, and Matt Allen from Virginia Auto Service has decided to take the day off. I know he's got some stuff going on, but I've got Glenn from Good Works Auto Repair, who is the hybrid wizard, as well as he knows everything about the rest of any other car that we can talk about. So he is here to help me help you with your cars. And we've got Dave, John, Mark, and Dean. And we've also got texting at 411-923. We are going to go up first this segment with John in Scottsdale. Looks like he's buying a Porsche 911. What can we help you with, John, here on Bumper to Bumper Radio?
Hey, how you doing?
Fantastic.
Hey, this is not a hybrid question, but it's sort of a bucket list dream car wish. Always wanted to buy a Porsche 911 and looking for the experts in terms of is that ill-advised, and if I were to buy one, what would be the things that I would want to be looking at, performing PPI, those kinds of things, what to steer clear of, those kinds of things. What your experience has been with 911s?
Well, I think today the guy you need to talk to is Matt. Matt is he's a Porsche fanatic. You know, he started out working in the Porsche dealership, and he worked on a Porsche race team. Glenn, this guy's buying a Porsche. You got any advice for him? He's thinking about buying a Porsche, bucket list, but those things sometimes happen quicker than we think.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of things to consider when buying any car, but typically, Porsches are not only expensive to buy, they're expensive to maintain and repair. So certainly I would caution you in that arena. And I'd get on some forums and kind of find out what the particular year, make, and model that you are looking at purchasing is one that's going to give you what you expect to get, and then maybe get on some forums that are discussing the upkeep and maintenance of these things, so that you have not only an aspect from a shop that works on them or doesn't work on them or whatever. You're looking at actual consumers who have purchased or currently own these vehicles, and what does their experience look like?
Yeah, I think that's. I mean, you're not in a hurry to go buy a car, so you got all the time in the world to research it out, think about it. I mean, there's all kinds of information out there on the internet, some good, some bad, but you can kind of read it all and sift through it and decide what you like. Thanks for the call, 602-277-5827. We're going to go with Dave in Sun City. Hey, Dave, you're on Bumper to Bumper Radio. What can I help you with today?
Well, I'm kind of off topic here, but I wanted to thank you for your philosophy of going to our bumper-to-bumper repair shop when we need help, not just for repairs, but for getting another car. My other car went down the proverbial toilet really fast, and I was going to be without a vehicle. And I went to the guys, and I believe Thunderbird Automotive is a bumper-to-bumper shop. Mm-hmm. And I asked Gary and Tom Paul over there, you guys know anybody that needs to sell a car? And they said, we do. There's this lady in Sun City who has this car that we have maintained for years. And it's not brand new, late 90s. And so I looked at it, I drove it, and I bought it. And it's been one of the best cars I've ever gotten.
Well, you bring up a good point, and even for the last call is that, hey, I'm looking at buying a car. Get to a shop, have that thing checked out. And Matt and I talked a little bit last week about buying a car, and some cars are, a little bit harder to, as far as the price range, they're not on the market very long. You don't have a lot of time to get them checked out. But if you're shopping for a car, hey, ask your mechanic, because we do know of people that have cars. Go to bumper-to-bumperradio.com. There's a list of shops there. You got a mechanic that you've known for years. Ask him, hey, do you know anybody looking to get rid of a good car that you guys have been taking care of for years? They just want something different. I mean, Glenn, how many times do you broker little purchases between? It happens.
I would say probably 2-3 times a month. I guess someone's calling looking for a vehicle. And I recommend some dealers that I know personally, or sometimes I have a car that I've purchased and I fixed up and I want to sell. And it's important to have a pre-purchase inspection done on the vehicle, because back in the day you could kick the tires and open the hood. Now you can't even find the motor because of all the covers and everything. So people don't know what to look for.
They open it up and they put their hand on their chin and pinch their chin and like, looks good to me.
Yeah, they rely on our expertise to be able to determine whether this vehicle has been maintained well, whether it's been in an accident, whether it was fixed right. Not all cars that have been in accidents are non-candidates for purchase. Some of them you get a great deal on, and if they've been fixed right, they'll give you another, whatever you might expect, another 50, 100,000 miles.
And we mentioned buying used Priuses. Now you can take a Prius for a stress test. I mean, I go to my cardiologist for a stress test, but you guys can do the same thing. So if you're looking at a Prius, I think it's a timely question.
Yeah, we do what we call a stress test on the battery, where we get a baseline voltage level and so on, and we take it out and we do hard acceleration and hard deceleration. Do that several times, and then we look at the ratio of battery discharge or disintegration within those periods of time, and we look at a percentage ratio. So it should be somewhere between 8 and 10% maximum. If it goes over 15, we're concerned about that battery's life.
Well, if you're looking for a Prius to purchase and you want to get it checked out, you can find Good Works Auto Repair as well as other great shops at bumper-to-bumperradio.com. We're going to go with Dean in Mesa on a 2003 Ford F250 6-liter diesel. How can we help you today, Dean? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
How you guys doing?
Fantastic.
I did a lot of the major repairs. I've owned the truck since new. I put new head studs in and changed out the oil cooler and put one of the bulletproof diesel EGR coolers in. But after I did that, the truck lasted about 45 days, and it ended up needing a high-pressure oil pump change. I did the high-pressure oil pump. Everything worked fine, but now my fuel economy went from like 18 miles to the gallon down to around 10. And I have no idea what would have caused that.
That's a pretty big fall off. Glenn, you got any advice?
Are you experiencing any check engine lights or anything else like that?
No check engine light.
How about the power? Does it run the same? Is it lacking in power?
Well, before, it wouldn't start and it was lagging. Like, I could barely get up to 50, 60 miles an hour on the freeway. And eventually the high-pressure oil pump must have gave out. But ever since I changed the high-pressure oil pump, it starts just fine, runs just fine, but all of a sudden the fuel economy and I checked it because I filled the tank up, figured how many miles I went, how many gallons were used. So it's not like just the display is off. It's actually only getting 10 miles a gallon.
Oftentimes in the 6.0 Fords, when the high-pressure pump goes out, a lot of metal shavings get sent through the fuel system. They end up in the injectors, and so you may have some partially blocked injectors, and the engine's struggling to produce horsepower, so it's trying to increase. I'm a little bit surprised that there wouldn't be a check engine light, but you probably need to have someone who's very familiar with the 6.0s look at that thing and determine why you would have had such a tremendous difference in your fuel economy.
And we've got, diesel is one of those things. We talk about hybrid. Hybrid's unique, and Good Works works on hybrids. We got shops that focus on diesels. I know we've got Automotive Diagnostic Specialties. They're in Chandler, and they do all kinds of diesel work. They're a Bosch Diesel Certified Center. So maybe something like that. I know Kurt Morgan at Shadow Mountain Auto Repair. He's a big 6.0 guy, it always seems like he's working on those over there. So follow up with either of those shops. Do you guys work on diesels over at Good Works, Glenn?
We do just maintenance stuff, but we don't actually tear down engines and stuff like that. We have places that we use.
I got you for sure. So, whether you're looking for a Prius to buy, a used car, or any used car, don't just go buy one sight unseen and, it's a real cream puff, clean one owner. People tell you all kinds of things when they're selling cars. And sometimes it's just a matter of, we can flip open the hood and it's like, nah, don't buy this car. You want to stay away from the car that is just going to be the gift that just keeps on taking from you because there's a lot of bad cars out there and there's a lot of great used cars out there too. I mean, you find somebody that's taking care of it. It's always been in the shop. Something broke, they got it taken care of. That's not a bad way to go. You save on paying the new car prices and the sales tax and all the things that go along with it. So when we come back, we're going to get to some of these texts, and you can also call us at 602-277-5827. You listen to Bumper Radio.
Are these the dog days of summer or what? That time of the year when you're counting down the final days on the calendar and debating whether you should do one more cool golf getaway weekend? Well, no worries. At Bunker to Bunker, we're celebrating with one last hurrah. On Saturday, August 22nd, our popular Bunkerville two-man scramble tournament is heading to the world-renowned Tom Fazio Mountain Course at the award-winning Lodge at Ventana Canyon in Tucson, nestled in the cool confines of the foothills of the spectacular Santa Catalina Mountains. The Lodge at Ventana Canyon is the perfect cool and quick getaway. Once again, we have created a great value. The tournament is just $89, which includes lunch, prizes, big raffle, and a free bounce-back golf coupon when you help us support Special Olympics. And our special bunker room rates start at just $95 a night. Great location, great value, and a really fun golf weekend with your golf buddies or golf honey to end your summer. Space is limited. Sign up today at bunkergolf.com.
Groovy music, Matt.
Hey, man, it's perfect for our Summer of Love promotion at Bumper to Bumper Radio, Dave.
Hey, can you dig it? We're going to share the love to help you and your car make it through another sizzling summer with the best service, products, and advice at our Bumper to Bumper Radio approved shops.
And we're going to pass out love to Phoenix Children's Hospital. Just donate $1 when you're in for service, and we'll match it for the kids.
For the Summer of Love, go to bumpertobumperradio.com today.
Trust. It's hard to earn and sometimes even harder to find. If you live or work in downtown Phoenix, Matt Allen's Virginia Auto Service is celebrating over 20 years of award-winning service at the corner of 7th Street and Virginia. Recognized as one of the best service shops in the country, their customers have come to trust Virginia Auto Service for its A+ rating by the BBB, 2-year 24,000-mile warranties, and free transportation to and from your home or office. 20+ years of earning your trust. Virginia Auto Service.
Arizona, an amazing state for outdoor recreation and exploration. Full of mountains, lakes, streams, forests, and of course, our beautiful deserts. Hunting, fishing, camping. If it's about the outdoors, we've got it covered. KTAR invites you to get outdoors with Mike Russell today at noon. KTAR News on 92.3 FM and on every device with the KTAR app.
Hi, Lisa Henry with Russ Lyon Sotheby's International Realty. Have you been thinking maybe the time is right to move, but you're not sure if you have enough equity in your home or if it really is a good time? Well, home values have increased significantly over the past few years, and interest rates are still historically low. For how long? No one knows. But for every 1% increase in the interest rate, the result is about a 10% loss in purchasing power. So it might be a really great time to sell your home and either upsize or downsize to a new home while the interest rates are still low. Contact me via my website at lisareneehenry.com or direct at 480-330-9530 for a no-obligation market valuation on your home and to hear about our global online marketing plan designed to sell your home quickly for top dollar. Again, that's lisareneehenry.com, 480-330-9530. Come experience the difference a truly customer-focused real estate agent can make.
Are you looking for a refreshing change in customer service? I'm Lee Weatherby from Accurate Automotive. How about a refreshing change in your car repair relationship with honest, clear, and responsive service that looks out for your needs and not ours? For over 20 years, we've been delivering award-winning service provided by ASE-certified technicians with one goal, looking out for your best interest. If it needs fixing, we'll tell you. If it doesn't, you'll know that too. I guarantee that you will not get that business-as-usual treatment at Accurate Automotive. Foreign and domestic, cars, trucks, and even fleet service, Accurate can handle your job. I invite you to come in and experience a refreshing difference in car repair and maintenance. Stop by for a free courtesy inspection, a $49 value. We feel it is well worth our investment in you because we know that good long-term relationships start early with your first walk through our doors. I'm Lee Weatherby, and I'll be there to greet you. Accurate Automotive, home of friends serving friends, just off Broadway and Robeson in Mesa since 1992. For more information, check us out at accurateautomotiveaz.com today.
Who can you trust here in the Valley to repair your ride? This is Bumper to Bumper Radio. KTAR News on 92.3 FM.
Well, welcome back to Bumper Radio. I am Dave Riccio. Matt Allen from Virginia Auto Service is off today, so I have Glenn from GoodWorks Auto Repair in here to help me fill the air. He is the hybrid expert today in the studio. He's with GoodWorks Auto Repair. They're in Tempe, basically Broadway and the 101, so right off the freeway. Pretty convenient to get to.
Indeed.
And I want to talk about Bumper to Bumper Radio and our Summer of Love promotion. And Bumper to Bumper Radio, what it is, it's a radio show. Matt Allen and myself host the show. And then we have a network that we're involved with of Bumper to Bumper repair shops, Bumper to Bumper Radio repair shops. And these are great shops that I would send anybody to. You can find them at bumpertobumperradio.com. We've all powwowed together and we are raising money for Phoenix Children's Hospital. So when you're at a Bumper to Bumper shop, there's a bucket on the counter. You can drop $1, you can drop $10, as many bucks as you want. And the shops are going to match everything that we collect. And almost every time I mention it to somebody at the counter, everyone is so happy to do it, because everyone in this valley has been touched by Phoenix Children's Hospital. I had a guy at my counter, and I was collecting a rather large sum of money because he had to buy a transmission. And I said, I feel really weird asking you for this, but can I get $1 for Phoenix Children's Hospital? And he pulled his hand up, and he had a bracelet on there because his son was down there getting surgery, and he'd been sleeping down there, because it was, that's the way they handle families down there. They take care of people. So anyhow, if you can get to a Bumper to Bumper Radio shop and drop off $1, for Phoenix Children's Hospital, we sure appreciate it. We're throwing in, and the Bumper to Bumper shops are matching everything we collect. So make us pull our wallets out, to really do something nice for Phoenix Children's Hospital. And I want to get to some of these texts. I've got a text here: 1977 GMC pickup truck, original owner, looking for someone in Phoenix area that knows carburetors so that I can take it down. Carburetors anymore, they're becoming like unicorns. You hardly ever see them.
Very seldom.
It's a thing of the past. Some shops won't even they'll turn them away. But there is a Bumper to Bumper Radio shop in Chandler called Automotive Diagnostic Specialties, and they are still more than happy to work on a carburetor. They're good at it. They'll work on anything from your Caravan to your Porsche to your mega thousands of dollars sand rail. There's just about nothing they can't work on. We mentioned them for being a Bosch diesel certified service center, so they'll do it. Glenn, when was the last time you rebuilt the carburetor?
Well, we do them every so often, but for the most part, we sub them out because getting parts, and sometimes you don't realize it, but some carburetors have been cannibalized. There's parts missing, and you try to fix one, and then you realize that there's parts missing, and you don't have any parts to replace them with, and you can't buy them. So going to someone who does them all the time, they have carburetors that simply could not be fixed, but they do have some of those parts that are needed to restore some of those old carburetors that are missing parts.
And also, I'm not a big fan of some of the ones you buy off the shelf that are, were built 30 years ago because they've been redone and redone and redone. This guy's original owner, if he's still got a virgin carburetor, that's the one I want to work with. I don't want some other carburetor.
Absolutely.
So the next text is from Marco in Tolleson, 99 Nissan Pathfinder, 348,000 miles on it. It won't go in reverse. It feels like it's in neutral. He was told it was his transmission, but otherwise going forward, it works perfectly fine. I don't have any good news for you. It is your transmission that is failing. He's asking, is it a solenoid issue? And on that transmission, RE4 R01A, it is reverse is fully mechanical. There is no solenoid for that. And then I'll get to a text here on a 2008 Camry, and it failed. It's a hybrid Camry. It sounds like the battery went bad before 100,000 miles. Why do you see that, Glenn? When hybrids go bad, the battery goes bad before 100,000 miles.
Well, hybrid batteries actually love to be used. They love to be exercised. So think of it as a muscle in your body or your heart muscle. The less you use it, the weaker it becomes. And so every so often I get a call from someone who's got a very low mileage one. A gentleman called me several months ago from Green Valley and says, hey, I've got an 06 Prius with 18,000 miles on it. Should I be concerned about my hybrid battery? And I almost started laughing. I'm laughing now because I think of his reaction to it. And I told him he wasn't really a good candidate for owning a hybrid, with all due respect to him. I mean, these hybrid batteries, take the Priuses that are running all over our valley for discount cab. They have got, they're putting over 100,000 miles a year on those cabs, and their batteries last 250,000 miles until they need to be either reconditioned or replaced.
So if you're not a person that really uses the heck out of your car, maybe a hybrid's not the right car for you,
That is correct. You will get fuel savings, obviously, while you're utilizing it, but the problem is the degradation of the battery will continue to increase on an exponential rate if you're not using it enough.
Looks like we've got Karen, Mark, Rich, and Eugene. We're going to go with Bruce in, looks like Queen Creek on a 2002 Dodge Ram 1500. How can we help you, Bruce? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hi, I appreciate you taking the call. I got an air conditioning problem with this truck. And I've got a low, medium, low, high speed on my fan. And we've changed the fan resistor out. We've changed the control unit out, and we can't figure out what's wrong with it.
And what's not working? You said you've got high, you've got medium, and you've got low.
It goes high, medium, then it's supposed to go to a higher medium and then a high. It switches itself back down to low.
And you've done the fan and you've done the resistor.
Yeah, we did the resistor. We didn't do the fan yet. That's the one thing that hasn't been done.
Okay, Glenn, anything?
Well, the whole notion of the resistor is to put it lower voltage to the fan to make it work at the lower speeds. And when you go to high, it gives it full battery voltage so that the fan is operating at its highest possible speed. I can only think that there may be problems with the contacts in the switch itself and the control head. Is it automatic temperature control or is it manual?
It's a manual one, and we changed it out with another one out of another truck.
Same problem?
Same problem on it. And we tried two different resistors, one of them there was an offbeat brand, and one of them that was a factory brand.
Well, I got to think, if we got an electrical problem like this, we got to get the road map, which is the wiring diagram that Matt always talks about, and we got to look at everything on that circuit and see what we're missing, because at some point there's only so many things that could possibly go wrong. Fan motor. The fan motor doesn't really determine the speeds. You're saying the resistor determines the speed, but the resistor is controlled by the switch. And I'm not sure if the body control module or there's an HVAC module in there, something's not functioning right.
It could be a grounding problem somewhere as well. Sometimes you have multiple grounds going to the chassis of the vehicle, and if you don't have good contact on those grounds, they can create similar problems as well.
Well, thanks for the call, Bruce. 602-277-5827. We are going to go with a patient Mark in Surprise on a 2000 Dodge Ram. Yeah, it's Dodge Ram Day. How can we help you, Mark? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
You bet.
Got a little problem here. How do I want to say this? I drive this truck for about 15 miles, then it completely shuts off, dies, and that's pretty much it. And then about 5 minutes later, I'll open the hood, and there's a box, a lead box or a silver box on the left-hand side by the firewall that has 3 plugs going into it. I'll bang on that for a few minutes, and it'll start right back up. Now, I took it to a shop, and they said it is a PCM.
Yes.
It is, so, and I called a couple of shops, and they saying it's like $1,000 for this part. And that's to reprogram it and everything else. I looked on the internet, and they had one for $245, and it came programmed. Is that what I'm looking at here?
I think that is exactly what you're looking at. I know right around that time frame, a lot of Dodge computers. You said the left side. I think that's the passenger side, right there on the over the fender right there. And we see a lot of those computers failing, and just like you described it, actually. And you can go get one through Chrysler, and the one you're going to get from Chrysler is going to be remanufactured, and they do sell them blank, so they do need to be programmed to fit the vehicle. There are some companies that rebuild these computers, and they can actually program if they have the VIN and mileage and things like that ahead of time, so it'll just be plug and play. Now, some of those companies are a little bit fly-by-night. I've struggled. I mean, the price is a lot better, but I've had 2 or 3 of them show up that didn't work, and a very angry customer who was waiting for their car to get back in the meantime. So it is a possibility to go that route, but just know that it's a little riskier. Glenn, any thoughts on that?
Well, I totally agree with Dave on that one. That Chrysler did have a very high failure rate in their PCMs, and that was a very common symptom. And sometimes thumping the PCM would actually make the thing restart. So I wouldn't call that science, but it does work, and it will get you maybe to your destination or to where you can call a wrecker and have the thing towed up. But
it's just a health benefit. It's a reminder not to sit in one position too long. So stretch your legs every 15 minutes. Get out and go thump the module.
There you go.
So anyhow, well, I wanted to get to our car tip of the week, and I could come up with a million tips, but Glenn said, this morning I must have passed 10 chunks of blown-out tire on the freeway just getting here. So, Glenn, car tip of the week.
All right, so the car tip of the week, folks, is how to check your tires properly. Now, oftentimes we'll walk around our car, or maybe not as often as we should walk around our car and look at the tires, but when you see tires shredded all over the freeway, that's a sign that someone didn't check their tires, or the shop that they went to didn't really warn them that they may have a tire that's in a state of need of replacement. So essentially, when you get out to your car, you need to look at the tires and look at the whole tread, because oftentimes you will look at the tires from the outside, and the outside tread looks fine. They look like they're inflated okay. But I can tell you 3 or 4 times a week at my shop, we put a car up in the air. The outside of the tire has 7 or 8 30-seconds on it, and there's steel cords coming out on the inside of the tires. And that is a problem that is usually due to an alignment issue related to ball joints or to control arm bushings or whatever, ball joint type of things. And those repairs need to be made because tires are expensive. I mean, there's a wide array of prices of tires, but I would say minimally you're going to spend $70 or $80 for an inexpensive tire and up to $200, $400 for an expensive tire on a truck. And so to not look at that tread and see that you're getting uneven wear in the early stages and catch it and have those repairs made can cost you a lot of money down the road. And if it's a rear tire that blows out, it can put you into a spin and not only shred tires all over, but it can shred your car and cause a rollover accident.
And when you're buying tires, keep in mind that a good set of shoes can cost you $100. So if you're getting a tire for $60 that's on a 5,000-pound car and you're going to drive it all over the United States, maybe that's the wrong tire for you. So when we come back, we've got Eugene, we've got Rich, and we've got Karen, and maybe time for one more at 602-277-5827. You're listening to Bumper to Bumper Radio.
The Arizona Get Outdoors Expo in association with Arizona Game and Fish, August 7th, 8th, and 9th at Westworld of Scottsdale. If you love camping, hiking, hunting, fishing, you'll love the Arizona Get Outdoors Expo. Visit ArizonaGetOutdoors.com for tickets or text Expo to 411-923.
Trust. It's hard to earn and sometimes even harder to find. If you live or work in downtown Phoenix, Matt Allen's Virginia Auto Service is celebrating over 20 years of award-winning service at the corner of 7th Street and Virginia. Recognized as one of the best service shops in the country, their customers have come to trust Virginia Auto Service for its A+ rating by the BBB, 2-year 24,000-mile warranties, and free transportation to and from your home or office. 20+ years of earning your trust. Virginia Auto Service. They're serious about service.
Matt and I share car repair tips weekly to help you keep your car safely on the road, and a few of them are easy to do.
Yep, you're right, Dave. And one of the easiest is to have a dependable battery that you can trust to get you started no matter what the conditions.
Interstate batteries are what we trust at Bumper to Bumper Radio. In fact, they're what we use at our own shops for our customers.
If you're like most people, your car is one of your most valuable investments. Make sure you take care of that investment with the power necessary to get you where you need to be. Interstate batteries are America's #1 replacement brand with the factory fresh guarantee, and they're easy to find at good shops everywhere.
Cars or trucks, Interstate has you covered with long life and performance in our harsh desert climates with products like Megatron Plus. It carries a 30-month free replacement and a 6-year performance guarantee.
Interstate batteries. No battery lasts longer. Check them out at interstatebatteries.com.
There's nothing more important than family. Hi, Kurt Rock for Kurt's Auto Repair. Family owned and operated and Bumper to Bumper Radio preferred. We've been taking care of Valley families and their auto care needs with a perfect Better Business record for over 27 years. Come experience the difference our ASE Master Techs can make for you and your family at Kurt's Auto Repair. Just east of I-17 at 22nd Avenue and Bell Road, or online at mycarhurts.com. Gas or diesel, foreign or domestic. If your car hurts, take it to Kurt's.
Few cities are as car-centric as Phoenix, and this is the show that'll help you to better understand that machine you depend on to get around the valley. It's Bumper to Bumper Radio. KTAR News on 92.3 FM and the KTAR app for Android and iPhone.
Welcome back to Bumper Radio on this happy August 1st day. Boy, it is sweaty out this morning. I feel a little swampy, if you know what I mean. Welcome back to Bumper Radio. Dave Riccio, Matt Allen took the day off. So Glenn from Good Works has come in to tell us about hybrids. You can find them at bumpertobumperradio.com. It's Good Works Auto Repair, Broadway and the 101, performing good auto service. It's a shop that I'd feel comfortable sending anyone to. They do a really good job to take care of their customers. I want to get a text here, 05 Ford Ranger V6, oil leaks. Any ideas where to start? Glenn, where do you start with oil leaks?
Well, typically we look at the top of the engine because, obviously gravity is going to send that oil to the ground. So we look at the valve covers, the intake manifold, that kind of thing. And if they look like they're relatively dry, pretty commonly on Fords, we're doing a lot of oil pans, sometimes front main seals, and hopefully not a rear main seal, because that means either the engine or transmission have to come out.
I do a lot of rear main seals at Tri-City Transmission. So let's see if that helps. And a lot of times shops can clean if it's really messy underneath there, and you can't even tell. I mean, you can't tell half the engine oil's all over the engine. They're going to want to clean that first. They can use a dye where they can see
dye. Exactly.
Where they can see it with a black light later on. That's a good way to really pinpoint them. So we're going to go with Eugene in Phoenix on an F-150. I believe that's 1988. How can we help you, Eugene?
Yes, I got just a simple question. I start the engine. That's a check engine problem. I start to pick up. It doesn't. The check engine goes. It's not on. When I start driving 35 miles an hour or 40, and the check engine goes blinking all the time, it bothers me. It passes emission.
Is it 1988 F-150?
Yes.
Okay. Now on a blinking check engine light, check engine lights come on to tell you there's a problem, but when they're blinking, there's an engine misfire. That's what's coming to mind for me, Glenn?
That's correct. It's dumping a lot of raw fuel into there, and they're concerned with catalytic converter damage, which can be very expensive to repair.
So you're going to want to get that thing checked out. Sounds like you've got an engine misfire going on. We are going to go with Karen and Rich and then Bill. Karen, you're on Bumper to Bumper Radio. How can we help you? Karen, you there?
Hi, how are you this morning?
Fantastic. What can we help you with?
Well, I've got my Nissan is in need apparently of radiator hoses. They say they're getting pretty old and dried out and nearly cracking. So the mechanics are telling me that I need to replace the upper and lower radiator hoses. My question this morning is, when I do that, is it necessary to do a coolant flush?
Yeah, absolutely. I think radiator hoses, you're gonna have them off. You're gonna lose half the coolant anyway. Lower radiator hose means it's at the bottom of the radiator. So just by taking it off purely, you're gonna lose most of the coolant. I mean, the shop's gonna capture it, but vehicle's 9 years old. What do you think? Radiator hoses? You believe that?
Absolutely. I think radiator hoses should be replaced at 7 to 8 years. That's the typical interval that the manufacturers, not only of the cars, but the hoses themselves recommend, because hoses disintegrate from the inside because that's where the coolant is flowing through. And those chemicals start to break down the rubber composition, and then they start to swell, they start to harden or crack, and then you end up with a lot of problems.
So yeah, definitely upper or lower hose, and also, there may be some other hoses in the system. They should look at all the hoses, not just the upper and lower. Those are the most common, but maybe thermostat and gasket could be something you might want to do at that time as well. So we're going to go with Rich in Surprise. Looks like he's got a 2002 Volkswagen Passat. How can we help you, Rich?
Hi, Dave.
Hey.
Hey, I got a Passat, and I have an ASR light on in the dash. It's anti-slip reduction, I believe.
AFR?
Yeah.
AFR. Are you familiar with an AFR light?
ASR.
ASR.
And it's something to do. I replaced the ABS module, but now it used to have the brake light and that, but now it just has the ASR light on, and I can't get it to go off.
Now, you replaced it yourself?
Yes, I did.
Was there any programming that went along with that?
No, I have a programmer, but there's no codes or anything.
No codes or anything like that. So I'm thinking with a lot of these modules, when you replace modules, they actually have to be, and I don't know the specifics of a Volkswagen. You can call any of these shops at Bumper to Bumper Radio. They'll be able to answer that question for you. But these modules have to be programmed, so maybe it's not recognizing it.
Or they're holding codes that can't be cleared with a typical scan tool. They have to be cleared out properly. They have to do what we call like a hard reset. I had some experiences with Volkswagens on that, on the restraint lights and the passenger occupancy light, where they had to be reset after the parts were replaced because the code still stayed in the system until they were cleared out, and you can't do that with a common scan tool.
So, not all scan tools are alike. We're going to go with Bill in Scottsdale real quickly on an 04 Chevrolet Silverado. How can we help you, Bill? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Yeah, how's it going? I'm having an issue with my driver's side. I run the air conditioner. The driver's side will all of a sudden just start blowing hot air, and the passenger side will be blowing cold air still.
He's got a Chevrolet with hot and cold. Glenn, what do you got?
Typically, those problems are you have a leak somewhere in your system, the refrigerant level gets low, and it will, because the evaporator is on the passenger side, it will keep the passenger side cool, but the part of the evaporator that blows into the driver's side will be warm, so you probably need to have your system checked for leaks, see if the system is low, and have it evac'd and recharged and repaired properly, and that'll bring it to cold on both sides, unless you have one of those vehicles that has individual controls for passenger and
His
driver.
and her. And that prevented a lot of fights because she can have a different temperature than you. His and her air conditioning controls. So not only that, I mean, the most common when I see different temperatures out of one side versus the other is a charge level, so the air conditioning's not performing well. But there's also mixing issues because there's blend doors that blend the hot and the cold air to get what you want. And on the his and hers, there's really two blend doors going on.
Yes.
So anyhow, let me see. On the oil leak question that we had earlier, oil leaks are one of those things where, you can, how serious is an oil leak? And I think of an oil leak as being more serious when the component doesn't hold much oil. So if I got an engine that holds 6 quarts of oil and it's leaking, it's hardly leaking anything. It's leaking maybe a few teaspoons. I'm not as nervous about it if I have a transfer case, which is your four-wheel drive under your vehicle. Some of those transfer cases hold not even a full quart. So any leak out of that thing is a big deal, but a leak out of your engine, maybe not as big deal. So when does a leak need to be addressed? Glenn, what are the things that you warn people about when they've got a leak and you got to take care of this?
Well, it depends on if it's a component that you can actually measure the level in. Like Dave mentioned, transfer cases. There's no dipstick to pull on a transfer case with the exception of Subaru, which goes into the transmission where you can get the transmission oil and the transfer case oil. Each have their own dipstick in many of their models. But if it's not something that's measurable in that way, you're going to have to take it in, have someone pull a plug that's going to give them, it's a level plug, and that'll let us know how much fluid you've lost, and make the proper repairs before you damage the component, because those things can cost you hundreds or thousands of dollars to fix if they're left unattended.
Well, thanks for joining us. Thanks, Bree, as always, for running the phones and running the dials back there. If you're looking for a friendly, honest, competent shop like Goodworks Auto Repair, you can find them at bumpertobumperradio.com. While you're there, be sure to like Matt and myself on Facebook. We're always a little thin on friends. We can use more. Remember not to text and drive. And also remember, we're doing the Phoenix Children's Hospital. We will see you next week.
Hi, I'm Scott, General Manager with Whitey's Auto Repair here in South Scottsdale. We built a reputation for quality auto service and repair for over 45 years, and our customers have come to trust us for our recommendations. We value that trust, and that's why when it comes to transmissions, for the past several decades, we have been recommending Tri-City Transmission. They have yet to disappoint. I feel so strongly about it, I wouldn't go anywhere else. Why would you? Google them online today at tricitytransmission.com. Go where the pros go. Tri-City Transmission.
Golfers, come join us for one last cool getaway this summer with Bunker to Bunker's popular two-person scramble. We're headed to the spectacular Tom Fazio Mountain Course at the award-winning Lodge at Ventania Canyon in Tucson on Saturday, August 22nd. An incredible value, the tournament is just $89, which includes lunch, prizes, big raffle, and a free golf bounce-back coupon when you help us support Special Olympics. Room rates start at just $95 per night. Great location, great value, the perfect way to end summer. Go to bunkergolf.com for details.
It sounds like they've just had the accurate automotive experience. We're family owned and operated and have served the Mesa, Tempe, Gilbert communities for over 22 years. We focus on building long-lasting relationships and, oh yeah, listening to you so that we can understand, meet, and exceed your expectations. One location, 14 bays, 88 years of automotive expertise, and a passionate commitment to customer service and excellence. My name is Lee Weatherby, and I approve this message because it's true. We love what we do, and we want to do it for you. Accurate Automotive, the home of friends serving friends.
Groovy music, Matt.
Hey, man, it's perfect for our Summer of Love promotion at Bumper to Bumper Radio, Dave.
Hey, can you dig it? We're going to share the love to help you and your car make it through another sizzling summer with the best service, products, and advice at our Bumper to Bumper Radio approved shops.
And we're going to pass that love to Phoenix Children's Hospital. Just donate $1 when you're in for service